Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 4.5 Marks. We are back. We have a discussion for you. Originally when we started this, it was to teach HCB over there, Banda, about professional wrestling. And we've kind of gone away from that, and it's just because timing, and also he's a kind of a fuck that won't do homework. But that's neither here nor there. But today we are going to talk about WCW's Halloween Havoc, specifically Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero, title for Mask. So I am Chavo the Hero. We have the Icon Jim. We have Pan Blanco Tyler, and as previously mentioned, HCB. Come on, you got to do the Rob Van Dam. HCB.
There you go. That's all you get.
Perfect. Anyways,
we'll dub it. Make it a TikTok.
Yeah.
Just horribly dub it. Just scream it.
Yeah, it's like.
Actually, that's how it was in TNA. That's how it was in TNA. So we can definitely do that.
Yeah. Cool.
Rob Van Dam. Yeah.
God damn it.
Beautiful.
The whole left and show. Yep. That was.
Did you just say what I think you said?
Yeah.
The whole left and show.
Oh, I heard something completely different.
Mm-hmm. I bet you did.
We'll get your lyrics later.
Yeah. Anyway, so we are so Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio, title for Mask. This was the first time you have seen this.
Yes.
This is part of a match study that I do, and I've watched that match several times back. You've seen the match. We both have played the match in 2K22.
Yep.
Part of the story, and then this is your second time watching this match?
I think it's my third time watching it.
Okay.
I watched it a few times.
Okay.
It's a good match.
Yeah, I watched it beforehand, and I feel like we watched it together, which is one word misplacing.
Yeah. Either way, we've seen the match. Great match. So, let's start off with your thoughts on the match, Banda, of your competitor. So, you are a fan of Rey Mysterio.
Yes, I am.
How many Eddie Guerrero matches have you actually watched?
I feel like I've only seen one.
Those are rookie numbers.
Just one?
Yeah.
Well, I am the half mark.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fugazi.
A Fugazi.
And I'm pretty sure it was Benoit, however you pronounce his name.
Benoit.
Yeah. You ended up showing me that one time. That's the only match I've seen of him. But I actually know who he is.
Okay.
At least.
That's positive.
Okay.
That's a step in the right direction, I think.
I at least know who he is.
We're going somewhere.
So, let's get your just opinions overall in the match, and then we can kind of discuss further into certain points that you bring up.
I like that.
The match was really good. I mean, to be honest, I compared it a lot with modern matches that we've been watching, since that's kind of like, I just started watching wrestling, basically.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things were different. I wasn't expecting that.
Like what?
It seemed like the way that they did their moves, like the work they put in certain spots, they were very stiff, but in others, it would flip on a dime and like do moves very like seamlessly transition in between moves very quickly.
Yep.
Almost without leaving like kind of like that sort of like pause for suspense.
Okay.
In quite a few spots, especially with Rey Mysterio, where he would do like his kind of like more high flyer moves. There were times where like he was on top of like the third rope, and instead of like taking his time to kind of stabilize himself, he was just up there already, ready to do the move immediately after.
One hop.
Yeah, just immediately on a dime.
Yeah. Tying into that, I don't know exactly what it's called, but I'm gonna do my best to describe it. But that like backpack stretch that Eddie had Ray in,
The gory special,
and then into that arm drag was incredible. It was so nice. Like there was no timing.
Yeah.
No.
I didn't see it coming out of that, and the fact that it was just like that, it was so nice.
And it happened in a lot of spots too, where like they would just like immediately transition to a new move extremely fast.
Yeah.
Very good.
With that move, so the gory special was, if you listen to the commentary, it was invented by his dad, Gory Guerrero. Gory Guerrero also invented the camel clutch, which is the other submission move he had him in. Those were all invented by his dad. And as they said, he was tag team partners with El Santo.
I always
he was
forget
over
that.
Shadow.
I always forget that.
I had forgotten that as well. But as you said, the matches were very quick. Part of that had to do with, one, the Cruiserweight style, which is very fast-paced. The Lucha style is also very, in general, very fast. But also, WCW was kind of the first to care about the smaller guys, but they didn't care a whole lot.
No.
So the match was literally 15 minutes, which was great. but another match that didn't have the same stakes as in the title versus mask probably had a longer time to go.
Because usually when they do like mask versus mask or anything high stakes like that in the lucha libre like tradition, they'll do a 2 out of 3 falls. That was always like their go-to for main event matches. It wasn't the fact that there was just one fall to a finish. There was always 2 out of 3 falls. Always. It's just the main events. That's what they were, to basically drag out the match and make sure everybody gets their stuff in and gets their wins, their high spots, their low spots. And personally, yeah, exactly. Personally, and it also gave the wrestlers a little breathing room in between the falls to kind of catch their breath again, go again. But other than that,
in case anything went awry, too.
Yeah.
So, I understand that. I feel like WCW strayed away from the traditional way.
They did.
Oh, yeah.
A lot.
So, but I mean, that's America for you, right?
Yeah.
Is that how you pronounce that? Awry? I always say awry.
It's awry.
It's
Fun. We all learned something today, right?
But the fun fact number 1, he learned English from Usher and the Boondocks. Not Boondock Saints,
no.
the other one.
With Uncle Ruckus. No
Uncle
relation.
Ruckus. No relation. So
If I could relearn English, I hope that anyway I did.
I'd love to relearn English that way.
That's
So say that
incredible.
I want you.
Yeah.
This the easy hot.
Mr. Handsome, or can I call you Mr. Handsome?
anyways, what else? What are your thoughts of what happened in the match?
Well, besides that, I think the biggest thing that struck me, which wasn't necessarily like the match itself related, but was it just me, or did most of the falls sound more painful?
They did have the ring mic'd up.
Oh,
Yeah, the ring was properly mic'd.
Yeah, which I feel like they need to do that more. I love a ring mic.
I didn't know they did that, because comparing it to new matches, it just seemed like each fall was
Stiffer.
like
Well, also
hard.
part of that might be they probably had less padding in that ring
They could also
than
be
what they do now.
Yeah.
Well, also you have to think about the technology that's available as well.
Mhm.
So, I mean, a lot of the times now you have such incredible mics that when you mic the ring, you hear them talk, and that just removes
Yeah.
The other thing too is that in Lucha Libre style, the wrestlers are hardly ever taking bumps.
Yeah, it's more rolls.
It's all about rolls. When they're about to hit the ground, it's all about rolls. So they'll hardly take a bump. So that's why they're able to do less padding, because you're not bumping, you're rolling.
Yeah.
Okay, because at some point, I think Eddie Guerrero threw Rey Mysterio out of the ring, and even outside the ring, you could hear like the thuds, which I don't think you really hear that in modern wrestling.
Not unless it's like a big thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
But no, like I could honestly say that I could hear every single time one of them hit the floor.
yeah. And one thing with like modern wrestling is it's what's the right word? Everybody like plans it out, right? So, and they'll plan it out during the ring. So they talk a lot more about what's going on, how to change it up, how to switch it up.
Yeah.
So you can't have it mic'd, as Jabrim said, as high as what they used to have it.
Yeah.
Because before you would just go on the floor. There's in wrestling, not to go too deep into it, but there's a way of communicating without communicating verbally.
Yeah.
So
It was also 20 years
yeah.
ago. So
Things
think about the
changed.
technology curve that we've had in 20 years.
Oh, 100%.
So
100%.
26 years ago to be exact.
It could also be like also safety stuff as well.
97. Or in 2003, 20 years ago, 2003.
Yeah.
Yeah, 26 years ago.
Oh, shit.
We're old.
Oh, yeah, I was born.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I was alive for this match.
So was I.
So was I.
I was just born. Just barely.
Yeah, just barely.
I think I was 2.
I was one.
Yeah.
I was less than one.
I was actually not even one.
Like I mean, I was like 6 months
Oh, no, I was a year old.
At least.
old.
Halloween Havoc, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Halloween. I
Yeah,
was like
let's
6
go.
Yeah.
I was front row.
You were the big old baby in the front row.
Big ass baby.
Yeah.
Would it also kind of like the fact that it seemed like they were stiffer and stuff, but that also had to do with the fact that like they didn't really have a lot of safety rules?
That has to do.
That's more lucha.
That's more lucha in general.
Lucha's just fast, bro.
It's
There's-
fast.
yeah.
It's stiff.
Yeah.
It's snug.
It's meaningful.
Yeah.
It did look like every single thing they did. Like
Matter.
Yeah,
Matter.
let-
It
so
mattered,
hurt.
man.
Let's talk about like the wrestler we know personally in Máscara de Oro, right?
Mhm.
So he's told me, and like other luchadors that we know have told us, the way that you train to do chops, you had to hit a wall, brick wall, until it didn't hurt, until you did it right. Or your hands were that callous.
God.
Whichever one came first.
Yep. So that's the thing. That's why I like their hands. Like if you look at luchadors' hands, they're big.
Huge.
Dude, Fabian's hands are huge.
So
Yeah.
Fabian Fury.
Yes. Very Fabian Fury. Otherwise, I noticed that Eddie Guerrero, the person that he pinned, Rey Mysterio, he pinned him like consecutively 4 times. I don't think I see that a lot.
You don't really see that often, and that's something that
like one after the other.
Yeah.
Trying to pin him. And then when Rey Mysterio broke out of the pin, he didn't break out dramatically like usually you see people picking out. He just raised his shoulder and that was it.
Yeah.
It was less like spasming out trying to get out of the hold and more like just trying to lift up his shoulder so he wouldn't be actually pinned down. Which to me, it actually feels like it doesn't break the tension as much. Because to me, I feel it's more believable that somebody would raise their shoulders picking out every single time. That seems like it would take more energy.
Yeah.
It's like every time you're pinned, you try to.
There's a lot of different styles of pinning, though, which, I mean, again, we don't really see. A lot of times people just cover the shoulders, and that's kind of it, because that's the main thing that's not. But, I mean, Eddie was kind of everywhere.
Yeah, he did a lot of stuff. He pinned in ways that I've never seen.
Well, like
yeah,
those
leg
mentioned.
up,
Yeah,
he had
the
2
leg
legs
up,
up, he
too.
had hands
He
up.
got, at one point I was going like, dude, aren't you getting a little too uncomfortably close to his face?
That's not a thing.
That's not what you're thinking at all.
No.
Because at the end of the day, you're wanting to get the pin. No matter how you do it, you're going to want to get the pin.
What I mean is, like, to me, I was thinking, like, I don't think I see wrestlers do that now.
No.
That's why, to me, it was like, you're getting,
But also,
you're getting very close to his face.
If you think about like face to junk, think of a power bomb. You literally have their junk in your face.
I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Right.
Which
Yeah,
Eddie did one. He had a very stiff.
It was
power
very
bomb.
nice.
It was
Very nice power bomb.
Probably the best power bomb I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
And then the thing with like luchadors too, like so every place has their own way of training, right? With lucha libre, you learn collegiate wrestling.
Yep.
And then you start, then you learn how to work.
Yep.
The fundamentals.
Yeah,
so they make the base and go from there.
There's a guy, I can't remember his name, but I had watched something about him. He trained some of the biggest stars like Santo, Gory Guerrero, like trained all these guys over like the course of 60 years. And his whole training thing is you did collegiate wrestling for 2 years before you ever step foot in the ring. That's how he trained you.
Good way.
Yeah. What about the finish? What do you think?
I wasn't expecting it to be over.
Yeah.
To me, it just even though the whole match building up to that point, there was a lot of build up. At the very end, it just seemed like there was enough for it to continue, and I was expecting it to keep going on. And in the end, Ray won.
Something good about a quick finish.
Yeah. It's shocking. It's surprising.
Yeah, it definitely caught me off guard. I was expecting it to just keep on going on, even though you told me like in the beginning that hey, this match is 15 minutes. To be honest, I was so entertained by it that I just didn't. I didn't even notice the time, so I thought it was going to keep on going, and it didn't.
Yeah. Snuck the quick pin.
Yeah.
Yep.
It just happened.
Shocked everybody.
Yeah, there was no fuckery involved or nothing. I feel like maybe spoil you. But the fact that usually nowadays things seem to go for longer. Or like something weird happens out of nowhere.
Yeah, it is true. There's a lot more fuckery involved nowadays. But that's what an old school win too. It's like a roll up, and then he incorporated the lucha style in that big hurricanrana,
Mm-hmm.
Which beautiful. Beautiful, man.
He tried to do one, and I think Eddie Guerrero caught him. No, made it into a backbreaker.
Different spot.
Or was
Different spot.
Yeah, like a different
He did
one,
like
he tried to.
he did the West Coast spot, West Coast pop,
That's what it was.
and then he reversed it into just
The backbreaker.
into a backbreaker.
That was nice. That was a beautiful
that
counter.
flowed very well.
Yeah, they work great together.
They do. They have such amazing chemistry, and it goes back generations.
Oh, yeah.
Just Eddie really looked like a powerhouse in this match. Like, I mean, he looks great already, right? But like compared to Ray, I mean, anybody's big compared to Ray. But just the fact that like that stature difference was definitely there, and how he maneuvered like the groundwork of the match.
Yeah.
I mean, like the whole pinning scenario, like you were saying, where he was just trying to shove his shoulders down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like he had him in all kinds of different stretches. Like, just overall, he was definitely like, I would say he was the favorite, or not the favorite, but like favored to win that match, right?
Yeah, the advantage.
He was
That's
definitely. It seemed like he was controlling kind of the flow for most of it.
Definitely.
Now, there's one thing I wanted to point out to see if you kind of noticed it or anything. But what's Rey Mysterio's finishing?
What is it called? The Huracán or whatever? Isn't it that one?
Well, I mean, I'm referring to like right now,
Oh, right now.
What's it called?
No, I don't know.
the 619,
What's
Yeah.
the
How do you,
telephone code to California?
San Diego.
San Diego?
So
I guess it's 619, not 911.
There you go.
Yeah. But
Like ours is Pro, too.
but you've seen it done. You've seen Ray do that. The
More
619.
than likely, just haven't.
It's the kick through the middle ropes where they have him propped up.
I mean, you
Oh,
said
then yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
So did you notice that he did not even go for that this time?
he did, but they wrapped him up in a hurricane.
The West Coast pop, I guess, was probably in
Correct.
early.
So
It was
early
7.
on, Rey Mysterio did not do the 619. He started doing that when he
In
was
his WWE, yeah.
Yeah, his finishing move was the West Coast Pop or that top rope Hurricane.
Mhm.
The thing that I
Yeah,
popped from.
that was generally his finishing move. He hadn't done the 619. Yeah, he would do it in terms of like just spinning around to get back into his opponents or reversing like an Irish whip, but that was kind of it.
Yep.
I want to point that out.
Cool.
Definitely nice to see like how they change their moves.
And you can also see the kind of the evolution of like Ray too. Like he was much more high flyer. You know, he was very what modern India is now, flippy shit. You know.
Yeah.
And now
He
you know,
didn't do too many flips, though.
well, there's that big moonsault over the moonsault DDT. He did that spinning
That was
senton.
sweet.
He did the he did that. He went for that springboard to the outside.
Yeah.
Twice.
He did.
Well, we moved the ref out of the way.
I get you.
Yeah, so he did quite a bit,
Yeah.
especially for that time.
I don't know, 6:30.
Yeah. Well, he did that spinning senton.
From
Yeah.
the top rope, where he basically went back first on the Eddie.
That's true.
So
crazy.
all right, out of 5, how do you rank the match?
Dude,
I'll give
honestly,
it 4.5.
this match
really
was
liked
incredible. Like, story-wise and stuff, I mean, I pointed out to you guys, but if you guys look on the back of Rey Mysterio's, like, bodysuit, it says Dominic right on the side of it. That was, I guess, the year he was born, so a little Easter egg for everyone there. Yeah, honestly, I really enjoy this match. I think it is one of the better matches in history. So I'll give it the full 5. Full 5 out of 5. I don't think there's a lot of matches that compete with it for being one of the better matches, but it is up there.
Another top ranking score is 4.5 out of 5.
No, I said out of 5.
Okay. Well, dang. Well, I guess I'll change to a 5 then.
I do enjoy this match a lot. It is literally like, to me, it's exactly how these small guys should be wrestling. You know what I mean? Like quick, snappy moves. Like
I'll probably give it a 4.5. I mean, it isn't not my only gripe with the match. It isn't their fault, but I do wish the match went on a little longer. I wish they would have let the match, because I feel like by the time they got to that finish, I feel like they were just now kicking it into second gear. They had more gas in the tank. You could tell both guys could still go. I would have let them to still go for at least another 10 minutes. At least.
so who signs their check?
That's also true.
MCW did at the time.
But who am I? I'm just a mark.
Yeah.
I just said, how were you back then? You were like 2 years old.
I was 2 years old
Yeah.
booking
I would
this
have wished
shit.
it would have went on longer too, but they didn't know what they had, right?
True.
I do 4.5 on it too. Great, and well, I agree with
It's a pivotal moment for them, small. I mean, in history in general, you know, they kind of put that style of match on the map.
Yeah. You want to know what Meltzer rated it?
3.5.
4?
You probably gave it a 4.
4.75.
Almost a 5.
Almost 5-star match.
Damn, Meltzer.
You probably thought the same thing. Match should have gone on longer.
Yeah, honestly.
That was my only gripe with the match.
Still, though, for those 15 minutes, I don't think I ever felt bored.
No.
Yeah,
There was
great.
literally no moment
It
where
was jam-packed, yeah.
there was a moment where I got distracted thinking about watching the book.
Quality.
Bang for your buck.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we also talked about how Eddie Guerrero like seamlessly ripped the mask from Rey
Tore it,
Mysterio,
yeah.
tore it immediately, and we all thought about Dominic and how he struggled for like
Tear
a
that
minute.
mask.
No, he did it. He just struggled trying to
He
do
did
it
not tear
for
that
like a
mask.
minute, and he did it. He just threw it somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, any final thoughts?
Halloween Havoc '97.
If you haven't watched the match, please go watch it.
Go
It's
watch
incredible. Maybe we link
It's
it in
really
the
good.
description or something.
It's on YouTube.
It literally, I just looked it up, and WWE has the full match. That's what how I watched it.
Well, we'll do whatever then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll figure it out.
Yep. Well, that's our video today. Bound to learn something new about the Cruiserweights and WCW. Eventually, he'll learn actual history like Montreal Screwjob and all that
And the
stuff.
Montreal Screwjob.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah, but like, share, subscribe, tell Uncle Bob and Janine,
Tell us what's up.
Your grandma,
your grandma,
your grandpa.
write us a haiku. Tell us what you think. Tell us what other matches in the English show HCB.
Yeah,
Actually, yeah.
that'd be fun. Try to keep it under 30 minutes. Just to give us time.
Yeah. Yep, we'll do a special eventually because these guys have never seen Kenny Omega versus Okada 1 or 2 or 3 or 4.
I've seen highlights, but that's about it. I haven't seen.
He's never seen the full match.
No.
So,
Let us know.
so we'll eventually do that. But yeah, well, that's today's video.
Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and that check bounces. So do you.
So